Sunday morning Bhagavad Gita class. So third chapter we have completed 3.41 and Lord is already talking about how lust and anger, under the sway of lust and anger, how we are pushed towards sinful propensities. We have propensity to do sinful activities, and that is because of lusty things, which is coming because of Rajagun, which is because of in the mode of passion it is happening. So last verse 4.41. Can anyone read the verse for me?
Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bhagatas, in the very beginning of this great symbol of sin, by regulating the senses and slaying this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization.
Tasmat tvam indriyani adau. What does this mean? Tasmat tvam indriyani. पहले इंद्रियों से शुरू करो. इंद्रियां ही सबसे खतरनाक है. So start with the senses first. तस्मात् इंद्रियाणि आदौ. आदौ मतलब सबसे पहले. आदौ नियमया. नियमया मतलब रेगुलेट. रेगुलेट का मतलब व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ रेगुलेट? कंट्रोल. ट्रांसलेशन नहीं बोला मैं, ऑल्टरनेटिव वर्ड नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ. व्हाट इज यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय रेगुलेशन? यूज ऑफ that's not the meaning of regulate. Regulate means, see, applying the senses for some self gratification, but that has to be dovetailed to Krishna consciousness. For example, can you say, no, from tomorrow I'm not going to eat food? We're going to eat. It's a requirement of the body. We have to eat. But खाना कैसे खाना है हमको? कृष्ण प्रसाद. कृष्ण को ऑफर के खाना है. कृष्ण खा और वो चीज़ जो भगवान को ऑफर नहीं किया जा सकता है वो हम नहीं खाते हैं. ऑनियन गार्लिक हुआ, गलत चीज़ें, गंदे चीज़ें हुए, जैसे नॉनवेज हुआ, ये सब हुआ, वो सब नहीं खाते हैं. सो देयर आर टू प्रिंसिपल्स. वन इज ईट टू लिव एंड सेकेंड इज लिव टू ईट. नाउ ओनली देयर शिफ्ट इज फ्रॉम लिव टू ईट से we eat to live. That's the shift. Because I told you yesterday also, by the age of 50, a person consumes 20 tons of food. फिर भी उसका मन भरता. 50 years ना मैं बोल रहा हूँ. I'm not talking of 60-70 साल का. And after that also, let's desire for more. So इंद्रियाँ जो है वो कभी तृप्त नहीं होंगी. पापमानं प्रजतीये एनं ज्ञान विज्ञान नाशनम. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाट इज दिस? पापमानं ये प्रजाति है एनम. दिस इज बेसिकली अ सिंबल ऑफ सिन. पापमानं, पाप ही होता है हमसे. हम कितना भी करें, हमारा प्रोक्लिविटी जो है, हमारा जो एक्शन का जो जीने का जो राह है, in whatever way we want to live nicely, means what? What is the definition of nice living? Just feeding your senses. That is the definition of nice living. अच्छा खाओ, everything अच्छा सो, अच्छी तरह से बच्चे पैदा करो, अच्छी तरह सुख सुविधा से रहो. अच्छा, उसके लिए कोई भी तरीके से हम कमाएं वो गलत हो जाता है. So it is very important. So पापमानं प्रजाति ही एनम ज्ञान विज्ञान नाशनम. आपको ज्ञान है, आपको विज्ञान है. क्या ज्ञान है, क्या विज्ञान है? व्हाट इज नॉलेज एंड व्हाट इज हायर नॉलेज और सेल्फ रियलाइज नॉलेज? ओके. एंड विज्ञान? applying it on your life, day to day life. More than that, what do you think? Something more than that. See, our focus, our goal of life is actual Vigyan. What is our goal of life? Getting out of the cycle of repeated birth and death. वो फोकस रहना चाहिए. बट क्या करता है ये? नाश कर देता है. इस ज्ञान को, इस विज्ञान को नाश कर देता है. It totally covers. Our knowledge is fully covered and it's destroying both our knowledge सब क्लास में सब सुन के गए, बराबर प्रभु जी सही बोले, बढ़िया बोले, दिल पे लग गया। बाहर जाते ही नेक्स्ट संडे को देखेंगे, अभी एक हफ्ता लेट मी एंजॉय माई सेंसेस, दैट इज द प्रिंसिपल। So now let's go to इंद्रियाणि परणे आहुर इंद्रियभ्य परम मनः मनस्तु परा बुद्धिर यो बुद्धि परास्तु सह। This we discussed, na? This we have discussed. Gross senses. Anyhow, we'll repeat it. Indriyani, the gross, dull senses. And hissing is higher. उससे higher क्या है? Mind. Mind is higher than gross, dull. Senses are more act higher than body. Gross, dead body. Body is dead. The senses are dead, but फिर भी senses are stronger. पर senses से क्या stronger है? Mind. Mind से क्या stronger है? Intelligence. पर intelligence से कौन सा stronger है? Soul. But पहले लाइन में क्या बोल दिया कि भाई ये अगर आपने कंट्रोल नहीं किया, आपका ज्ञान और विज्ञान, this is also ज्ञान Lord is giving. भाई progressively, if you see, the soul is the strongest. And that is defeated by the weakest. उसके बीच में दो लेवल्स है, वो दो लेवल छोड़ के भी थर्ड लेवल वीकेस्ट लेवल है, वो इसको बर्बाद कर रहा है। वो कैसा बर्बाद कर रहा है? पापमानम। See, what actually makes the senses? What makes the senses? You will have to lift the. What makes the senses so powerful? Though Lord is saying, confirming that senses are not strong, what is strong is the mind. Mind is stronger intelligence. Intelligence is stronger is soul. इतना सब होने के बावजूद why are we getting disturbed? Why? Why come the Indriya is able to win over us? Why? Because the senses, when you go for sense gratification, you use it only and only for sinful activities. Papmanam. It is only and only for sinful activities. So it is used for only and only sinful activities. So all this knowledge, jnana, is all there. All these sinful activities is only and only for fulfilling your senses. And this knowledge of, yes, this is superior to the mind, mind is superior to the intelligence, everything is still lost. दिया है, माना, ज्ञान है, विज्ञान भी है, but application, big zero. Big zero. Yes, can anyone read the purport for me? Sorry, this verse we have completed, sorry. So we have to go to the next verse. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjuna, one should be ready. One should be study the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, that is Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. Now, what do we understand in this? Evam buddhi param buddhva samasana. Okay, tell me, what do we understand in this?
Knowing that we are part of the Lord, so we are we are His part, so we are all the qualities are there in us.
No, here the important word is transcendental. We are basically spiritual. We are basically spiritual in nature. We are not having this material nature. We are spiritual in nature. But the problem is, this spiritual nature is making us is being suppressed by this gross body which is given it, and the demands of the gross body is making our mind focus thinking that we are material. इसके लिए तो यहाँ पे रहना है, permanent address is our Aadhaar card, our PAN card, our address. अरे भाई, this is also going to change, this is also not permanent. Death is change of dress and change of address. Your address will also change when you die. So yet you don't believe, you don't belong to this material world, but still you are attracted. Everything knowledge is given. Yes, it's not the material world is not right. Yes, Prabhuji, I know this. I'm not on the material world, but I'm looking out for a nice new house, bungalow in XYZ place. अरे यहाँ जब रहना नहीं है, why you want to build castles over here? You want to build castles for what? Are you going to stay here forever? At the time of death, that attachment to that castle is going to be the killing force. It's going to be killing. Okay. So, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence. So, all three things are gross: mind, intelligence, and senses, which are superior to the dull body or dull matter, are also material. That is why Lord says, Indriyani mano buddhi, not Indriya, Bhumi apo anulo vayu, kam mano buddhir evachar, ahanka itiyam me, bhinna prakriti ashtada. It is all material, क्या बोलते हैं, physical material है. So, कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So one should study his mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, and thus by spiritual strength. Only by spiritual strength one can make himself conquer the insatiable enemy known as lust. सबसे बड़ा जीवन में हमारा सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन कौन है? काम. काम, जो काम नहीं आता है उसी को काम कहते हैं. जो कोई काम का नहीं है उसी को हम कामनाएं कहते हैं. You know, in Jagannath Puri, once a king, I forgot the name of the king actually. A king was very, very pious, and he was thinking himself to be a servant of the Lord, very humble servant. Once it so happened that he had gone to the temple and they were distributing prasad. And the rule is, you have to take prasad in which hand? Right hand or left hand? Right hand. He was holding something and he did not put his right hand ahead. And he put his left hand ahead. So the Pandit, the Panda who was in charge, he didn't give him prasad. After coming home, he realized, what a blunder I have done. I did not raise my right hand for prasad. I lifted my left hand, and for which I did not get prasad. Dying inside. Mani man ro raha tha. Very much upset. Kya kar? That time he decided. So 2 दिन से he decided, but he didn't tell anyone what his plan was. तो 3-4 दिन से बहुत दुखी था. तो मंत्री ने पूछा, भाई सर, आर यू ऑलवेज अनहैप्पी? आप दुखी क्यों हैं? आप एकदम हंसते खेलते रहते हो, आप हमेशा दुखी हैं. नहीं, मुझे है ना, आपकी प्रजा सुखी है, सब सुखी है, फिर आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम है? बोले, मुझे ना रात को एक भूत आके डराता है. अच्छा, कौन है वो भूत? पता नहीं है. मैं रात को यहाँ सोता हूँ ना, तो रोज़ वो खिड़की से हाथ आता है और मुझे हु करके डराता है. सो आई एम ऑलवेज अफ्रेड इन द नाइट. रात आती है, मैं टेंशन में आ जाता हूँ, दिन भर वही सोचते रहता हूँ. अच्छा महाराज, आप चिंता मत करो, आप जाके आज दूसरे कमरे में सो जाना. आज द मंत्री सेड, आज मैं आपके कमरे पे मैं सो जाऊँ और मैं देख लेता हूँ उसको पूरी की तरह. तो वो राजा जाके दूसरे रूम में चला जाता और ये मंत्री जो है उस रूम में सो जाता. और रात को एज एक्सपेक्टेड, रात को एक हाथ आया, खिड़की में से बाहर आया, रूम के अंदर आया, हु करके डरा. तो मंत्री वॉज ऑलरेडी रेडी, तलवार रेडी रखा था. As soon as the hand came in, chang, he chopped off the hand. And he said, let me see हु इज दैट असुर और हु इज दैट भूत जो डरा रहा है? देखा तो वो राजा खुद था। राजा ने अपना दायां हाथ कटवा दिया था। He said, what is the use of this hand if I cannot use it for taking the prasad of the Lord? It is of no use. तो मंत्री लिफ्टेड द हैंड, ये तो पहचाना हुआ हाथ है। ऑफ कोर्स आभूषण तो रहेंगे ना राजा के कुछ ना कुछ, कि अंधेरे में तो दिखा नहीं, उसने तो चला दिया। देखा तो ये राजा का हाथ है, बहुत बड़ी गलती हो गई हमसे। बोला नहीं, आपने सही किया, आई डिजर्व इट। तो रात को मंत्री को, उस दिन रात को सपने में आया कि जगन्नाथ जी बोले इसको जहाँ पे, अच्छा ऑल ऑफ यू, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव हर्ड अबाउट नवकलेवरम? जगन्नाथपुरी में जो नवकलेवर होता है, एवरी 12 years जगन्नाथ जी डाइस। हाँ, द लाइफ इज, ब्रह्म तत्व इज ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम वन जगन्नाथ जी टू अनदर जगन्नाथ जी। दिस हैपन्स एवरी 12 years। तो ये नवकलेवर होता है। उस टाइम पे तो क्राउड इज लाइक नॉर्मली क्रेजी रहता है, एंड ये टाइम पे तो जगन्नाथ रथ यात्रा के पहले इट इज मोर बैड व्हेन इट इज नवकलेवर। तो द होल सिचुएशन वाज सो टेंस कि वहाँ पे क्या करें इसको। तो इट इज़ जनरली ड्यूरिंग नवकलेवरम टाइम व्हाट हैपेंस इज, जो ब्रह्म तत्व जो है वो पुराना जगन्नाथ जी से निकाल के दूसरे नए जगन्नाथ जी के अंदर डाल देते हैं, नए डीटीज के अंदर। एंड द ओल्ड डीटीज आर बरीड, दे आर बरीड इन द टेम्पल प्रीमाइसेस। एक छोटा सा ग्रेवयार्ड जैसा है, वहाँ पे गाड़ देते हैं उसको। तो उसी जगह पे बोला कि राजा का हाथ को गाड़ दो। तो लोगों ने, दे बरीड द हैंड ऑफ द किंग ओवर दैट, एंड राजा वॉज कंटिन्यूइंग टू लिव विदाउट अ राइट हैंड। एंड थोड़े दिन में वहाँ पे एक पुष्प का झाड़ है, फ्लावर, and it is said to this day that flower is offered to Jagannath ji. That flower is offered to Jagannath ji. If you go on an off season, then you can go and visit this place which is there instead. This Navakalevaram का जो जगह है वहाँ पे है, there's a small pond also जो पानी यूज होता है, एंड ये भी है। तो यहाँ पे थोड़े दिन के बाद राजा वापस मंदिर आया। अब वापस पांडा ने प्रसाद आगे किया। अब करे क्या, हाथी नहीं है इसके पास। फिर भी उसने हाथ जो कटा हुआ भागता हुआ उसने उठाया, बट देन ही रियलाइज्ड, अरे मेरे मुझे तो हाथी नहीं है। इमीडिएटली हैंड केम आउट फ्रॉम द कट ऑफ हैंड एंड ही गॉट अ न्यू हैंड। नाउ यू विल से, प्रभु जी व्हाट हैज दैट गॉट टू डू विद दिस वर्स? प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, this gross material can be molded or restructured if God wants, because God is the controller of the entire universe. So our focus on spirituality has to be more. As long you don't get that spiritual power, that confidence, yes, I am going to wear the tilak, I am going to be spiritual, I am going to chant my rounds, whatever people may say, people may laugh at you, this age you idiots, you are doing spirituality, this is age to enjoy, ये तो मज़ा करने का दिन है। This is all foolish. Stick to your goal. First and foremost, you know, how many of you consider yourself lucky? If you are in spiritual path, you are the most lucky person in this world. Not that you are having, you know, a nice car or a nice house or a nice beautiful body, a charming body and all. All this will get separated in due course of time, and definitely at the time of death, all your belongings will be left back. But for sure, we understand this, that whatever spiritual you are going to do, you are going to carry with you. So don't have this feeling कि भाई spirituality से मैं क्या, how can I sing? Because unless and until, that's why this verse Prabhupada is giving a very important message, saying, O Arjuna, you should study the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence. Unless and until we don't get spiritual intelligence for us to deliberate the mind or to focus the mind, it's not going to be possible. जनरली हम लोग यम नियम में अटके रहते हैं. व्हाट इज यम नियम? ये कर सकते हैं, ये नहीं कर सकते. दिस यू कैन डू, दिस यू कैन नॉट डू. पीपल आस्क मी, प्रभु जी एकादशी में ये खा सकते हैं क्या? एकादशी में होगा? अरे टेक्निकली एकादशी में कुछ नहीं खाना चाहिए. खाना ही है तो बैर मिनिमम खाओ, फ्रूट्स खाओ, या मैक्सिमम चलो कुछ सामा राइस खा लिया, ये खा लिया. बैर मिनिमम पे रहना है. उसमें भी अगर आप बोलेंगे प्रभु जी कैन गिव मी अ लिस्ट ऑफ थिंग्स which we can glut on a day of Ekadashi, matters. So, by deliberate spiritual intelligence, that is by Krishna consciousness, and thus by the strength, conquer this insatiable enemy of lust. Lust कहाँ से आता है? Commonly, it is fanned only by association. Mainly by association, this lust is fanned. And how it is fanned? It is fanned by already there is burning desire of sense gratification in each and everyone's heart. थोड़ा सा है. You go and ask a child, small child, you show him some chocolates, you show him some cold drink, even if he is not able to speak, he'll point his finger. What does this mean? He has some inherently, he is having a desire to do sense gratification. And by a conducive environment, that is by a wrong environment, this fanned. And by this wrong environment is one of the more main root cause of one developing deeper focus in lust. Lust is bad, it is existing, but usko और बिगाड़ता है by wrong association. You know, when you do food blogging, right? Food blogging. So what do you do basically?
Yeah, let's review the food.
Review the food, and then after that, please come and eat.
And it's your choice, obviously.
No, you tell the people to eat.
Yeah.
This is general. How many times, how many people do they actually do spiritual blogging or spiritual thing? Why? What's the problem? People are busy scrolling all these type of things on net, but how many are really interested in looking into this or interested in pulling people to this? Isn't it not a tragedy? Without that, a man can survive. But without this, a man can survive, but he can't get out of the cycle of birth and death. By eating one food, his stomach may be full, his belly may be full, but for how many hours? Few hours. 4, 5, 6. बाद में तो भूख लगना ही लगना. So that is the reason. Okay, can anyone read the purport, please?
This third chapter of Bhagavad Gita is consequently directed to Krishna consciousness by knowing oneself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without considering impersonal voidness the ultimate end. In the material existence of life, one is certainly influenced by propensities for lust and desire for dominating the resources of material nature. Desire for overloading and for sense gratification is the greatest enemy of the conditional soul. But by the strength of Krishna consciousness, one can control the material senses, the mind, and the intelligence. One may not give up work and prescribed duties all of a sudden, but by gradually developing Krishna consciousness, one can be situated in a transcendental position without being influenced by the material senses and the mind, by steady intelligence directed towards one's pure identity. This is the sum total of this chapter. In the immature stage of material existence, philosophical speculations and artificial attempts to control the senses by the so-called practice of yogic posture can never help a man towards spiritual life.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada is trying to condemn mechanical yoga processes. People go to doing asanas and all that. It's good. Physically, for health wise, it is very nice. But just by doing that, one does not develop that love for the Supreme Lord. That can only come by devotional service. No, the Ashtanga Yoga. What are the 8 steps? यम नियम अगर मैं डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन करूँगा 1 लेक्चर लगेगा यम नियम में, और यम नियम के बाद तो कोई सोचेगा नहीं आसन करने के बारे में. So strict do's and don'ts. First and foremost, yoga has to be done by one who is following brahmacharya व्रत. गृहस्थ को तो योगा अलाउड ही नहीं है. एटलीस्ट द योगा का इट इज़ अ प्रोसेस, इट इज़ अ बोनाफाइड प्रोसेस. It's not a bonafide, it's a very very bonafide process. But what does it happen? यम नियम आसन प्राणायाम प्रत्याहार धारणा ध्यान समाधि. तो समाधि तक पहुंचने के लिए वेरियस स्टेप्स आर देयर. People only take, or rather only a fraction of it, no doubt. So imagine, so powerful is the process of yoga, even a fraction can give you that much of benefit. तो सोचो फुल योगा का प्रोसेस करेगा आदमी तो कहाँ कितना बेनिफिट होगा. सिर्फ एक फ्रैक्शन करने से, सिर्फ आसनास करने से अगर व्यक्ति को इतना बेनिफिट फिजिकल एज वेल एज फॉर द माइंड, यू आर गेटिंग बेनिफिट्स. It's not a small benefit, it's a huge benefit. So imagine if the full 8 anga, Ashtanga is followed, kitna benefit hoga. But how many are interested? How many wants to follow? They want to see only the benefit. Benefit अगर सोचो बाई प्रोडक्ट में इतना बेनिफिट है तो प्रोडक्ट में कितना बेनिफिट है. जैसा अगर मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ दही मथा मक्खन निकाला, मेरे को तो छाछ ही पसंद है, ठीक है, जो बचेगा वो छाछ है. तो अगर छाछ इतना अच्छा है तो मक्खन कितना अच्छा होगा, सोच के देखो. दैट इज मिसिंग इन टुडे स्टेट. प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
He must be trained in Krishna consciousness by higher intelligence. Thus, in the Bhagavad Gita, purport to the 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in the matter of karma, yoga, or the discharge of one's prescribed duty in Krishna consciousness.
So finally, after long journey, we have completed the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita.